beautiful day it is out there. Hey, how are you? I'm going to guess that you're that new 11 table tennis user and you found this video because you want to get it set up and running so that you can be playing as quickly as possible. Hi, my name is Jeff. I am with
VR Table Tennis Network.
I'm also known as Jeff G01 in the game. Remember that because when you are done getting set up and you're up and running, feel free to challenge me if you see me online. I am here to help however you can, or we can just play some games. Having said that, tell you what, let's just jump right into it. We'll go through the menus. We'll get you started so you can be up and running very quickly.
The first thing that it's going to ask you to do when you run this app for the first time is to pick a language. I'm picking English because that's the language I use. I wouldn't suggest picking one of these if you don't speak it. You may never get back here again, but I'm going to pick English and then hit next. And the next screen is an optional thing to pick the flag to show what country you play for. I like to do that, and I'm in the Americas, so I'm going to pick the Americas. Before I do that, just so you know, when you're going to use your controller to pick things, you use the front trigger to actually pick something, and you point at it. But at the same time, you can also use that to scroll. So if you hold this down, and I'm just using the controller to move up and down, it lets you scroll through the window. So that's what I'm doing, and then I'm going to use the trigger to pick the United States because that's where I am. And then next. Now it asks you to pick a username. Mine's already there, but the way that this works is you'll click in here, and then a keyboard shows up, and you just can type whatever you want it to be. Once you get it right, I'm going to get rid of what I just did. Then you hit next, and that is your in-game name. Next up are avatars. You can pick whatever you want, or you can leave it blank. There's several pages of them. Feel free to pick whatever floats your boat. I'm not going to do it because I actually have an avatar that I created in the Meta app, and I'm going to stick with that. But you can pick whatever you want. So you pick one or don't, and then hit next. And this screen is what pops up, and it is asking you a few things. First is, do you want to show your opponent's avatar? Please bear in mind that anything that you pick here can be changed later, so you're not doing any damage and you're not making anything permanent at this point. But if you click on that, it is going to show your opponent's avatar, like what we could have picked on the last screen, or if you have the meta one. If you leave it off, it is going to show what they picked here, which you're going to pick one too. Just bear in mind, if you do show avatars, at least at this point, as at the time of this video, it makes your headset work a little bit harder, especially if you're in a room with a lot of people. We'll talk more about those rooms later. But it's pretty cool having avatars on, but you may have a better experience having it off. I would suggest experimenting. For now, I'm leaving it off. Now, avatars visible to yourself. What does that mean? That really has to do with your arms more than anything else. I'm going to turn it on. Watch my arms. And hey there. So you can see my arms. I find that distracting, even though I play in real life, but I'm going to turn them off. Then this is what it will show if you, or if your opponent says that they don't want to see avatars, whatever you pick. I'm a kind of a geek, so I'm going to pick the headset, and that's how they're going to see me if they have avatars off. And now I'm going to hit next. Now it's asking about it's about your paddle, and it's first asking, what is your dominant hand? Are you a righty? Are you a lefty? So if I click on left, boop, it switches over here. If I go back to right, it goes here. That is my dominant hand, right? So that's where I'm going to leave it. And then the grip style, standard or pen hold, and you pick whichever you want to play with. Below that, you have paddle type. Standard is just your basic settings, and you might want to start with that. Aggressive, it's going to be faster and spinnier, but you lose a little bit of control. Custom is what almost everybody ends up doing at some point, not everyone, but you can create whatever you want with regard to spin and bounce and the throw, the angle the ball comes off the rubber. We will have a video about all of this later on about setting up a custom paddle. But for now, I would just do standard and then try some other ones. Hit next. Now it wants to set up your play area. So as it says, position yourself in the center of your play area, ensure you have enough space around you, and then face the way you want to play. And then you're going to change the position and rotation using that. First, you set the floor level. Is it at the correct height? Is the table at the correct height? So the way that you do this is you hit set floor position, and see this, you just hold the controller on the floor until that bar finishes, and now it has set it so that the table will be at the right height. And then draggable positioning you do with the left trigger, and I am pressing it and moving this left and right, and you can see that the table is moving. This way you can set it up within your room so that, I don't know, if you don't, let's say that you don't have a lot of space and you have a coffee table right over there, you probably don't want to run into that, so you can move the table wherever you think is necessary so that you're not going to start crashing into things. Once you get it right, hit next. And whoa, look at that. Are we playing beer pong? No, we are not. It wants to help you figure out how to spawn a ball. That is, so when you're going to serve, you spawn the ball using this trigger that is now blinking green, but it wants to help you get used to it. So you're supposed to drop these balls into the cup. You press the button and then, oh no, I missed. So let's try it again. Get a ball, drop it into the cup. 1, 2, and then there's a third one over here. And as soon as you do that, you've successfully completed that. And we're going to go on to next. Now, again, all this stuff that you pick here, you can change later. I know I've said that, but it's important to note. The fact that this microphone is moving, that means that it is recording you. And you can tell it by default to start out muting the mic. This is for when you're playing other people, or push to talk. That means if your opponent won't hear you unless you push down on the joystick, or always on. I'm just going to leave it to always on. And then these 3 boxes over here, this talks about who can see you once you start the game. If you click on everyone, that means as soon as you log on to the game, anybody that's playing anywhere in the world, if they're looking for someone to play, you're going to show up on their list of people that's available to play. Although that can be filtered, and we're going to talk about that later on, but for now, just know that everybody can see if you do that. If you have this one selected, only your friends, once you find people that you like playing and you add them to your friends list, if you have this clicked or selected, then only they will see when you log on, and they can challenge you and you can challenge them. And this one, nobody can see you, and that means you can't challenge anybody and nobody can challenge you. You could go into a room, a private room, and play people there when it's this one selected, and we will talk about that in another tutorial. But you know, this is the way that you get to play people. And regardless of what you pick here, you can change this at any time while you're using the application, and we'll show you how to do that later on. Moving on, this is it. You're done. Now you're set up, and you're ready to play. So have fun. Be sure to like and subscribe to our videos, and we'll see you in later tutorials.